Shalom Yashala, peace Israel, all praises to the Most High in the name of His only begotten Son and the Holy Spirit that's called Halolium, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baharakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and those of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the sincere Akim and during afflictions, making their calling and election sure. It's your brother Kabar back with another one, and this one, Lord willing, to be edifying to the elect, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Baharakah Kadash, Barakatam, to all the sincere listeners who may hear this. It's really going to be going into the origin, all right, of the chosen line, all right, which we know, the Israelites are the chosen line, but before there was Israel or Jacob, all right, it started from the very beginning, from the foundation of this earth, man. So just to kick it off, this is in Genesis 1, verse 26. It says, "And the power said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." All right. So this is talking about Adam. All right. He was chosen, all right, from mankind. All right, which mankind was created prior to that. If you go up to verse 21, it says, "And the powers created whales, and every living creature that moveth, all right, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, every winged fowl after his kind, and the power saw that it was good." All right, so mankind was created on this day. If you go jump down, all right, to verse 26, that's talking about the sixth day. This is where, all right, man was made in the likeness of the Most High. All right, that's that chosen line from Adam. And you go to jump to chapter 2, it goes more into it. But me just jump. There's a few chapters. I'm actually going to scroll. I want to make this concise. We're going to go through, several chapters in the book of Genesis, because this is the beginning. You get the word gene. All right, that means origin. This is Genesis 4. I'm going to read the whole chapter on this one. In verse 1, it says, "And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord." All right, and that word Lord there is Yahweh. It says, "And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground." And that's just a spirit, that Cain was born first, just like Esau was, but the first shall be last. But verse 3 says, "In the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering." So you see that just right there, you can see that, all right, Abel, all right, he was preferred, all right, within these two brothers. Verse 5, it says, "But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou dost well, thou shalt not be accepted, and if thou dost not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him." And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. All right, murderer, man. It says, verse 9, "And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground." It says, "And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand." All right, so obviously Cain is not chosen. All right, he's cursed. Verse 12, it says, "When thou tillest the ground, it shall now henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear." It says, "Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Wherefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him." And that same mark was transferred to Esau. You know, if anyone who's slewing Edomite, you know, we see what kind of punishment, all right, someone would get. It says, verse 16, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. All right, now a lot of times you got different names, you know, like in if you go to the next chapter, which I'm gonna go touch on it a little bit. Enoch is in the next chapter as well, but it's a different Enoch. Just to read down, it says, and unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Melthuesel. It says, and Methuselah begat Lamech, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. Alright, so I mean, just reading this here, we see there's an importance here. This is in the book of Genesis, where we're talking about the line. Okay, just read down a few more verses in this chapter. It says, and his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, and the structure of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son. Is the point. It says, Genesis 4:25, and Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. It says, for God, said she, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. Ultimately, Cain, all right, he was cursed. He's cursed. So if he's cursed, then that mark's going to go from Cain, and it's going to continue. But it says, for God said she hath appointed me. All right, so Seth, all right, he's now chosen, he's appointed. If you go to that word appointed, let me just get that in the Hebrew. Seth, I believe, means compensation, as it says here. But let me look into appointed. Strong's H 7896. Shayath says to put, set, station, appoint, constitute. All right. So Seth is someone who Most High, all right, set instead of Abel. All right, who Abel? If you go up in the chapter, what does it say about Abel? In verse 4, it says that the Lord, all right, Yahweh, had respect unto Abel and to his offering, all right, but not Cain. So just to finish in this chapter, verse 26, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. This is big, man. All right, so this is from the line of Seth, man. All right, so having that name is very important. When someone's calling on the name, when someone has that name, all right, to call upon, then that's a sign right there that this is a chosen line. So just to continue in Genesis, the 5th chapter, in verse 1, it says, this is the book of the generations of Adam, and the day that the Most High, or the powers, all right, that word there is powers, created man in the likeness of the powers, made they him. Male and female created they him, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. It says, and Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. You see that? Image. Adam, he was chosen, all right, from humanity, from mankind. He was that one that was made in likeness of the Most High, or the power's image, all right. And then his son Seth, all right, was beget, all right, it's a son in his own likeness, after his image. And that's highly spiritual, if you could receive it. But I'm gonna just really jump down in this chapter here. This one goes into the line of let me just make sure. I don't know. But this goes into the line of Seth. So just to jump down to verse 29. All right. Well, I could kind of just read a little bit more, but eventually we're going to get to Noah. So I'm gonna just kind of jump down a little bit. So you got Seth, all right? He begat Enos, all right? You got Canaan, all right? Mahalalel, all right? All right, Jared, he begat Enoch, all right? We know Enoch is the grandfather of Noah, all right? Enoch, all right, begat Methuselah, if I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's Methuselah. All right, and then you got Enoch. All right, he walked with God. All right, which it says here verbatim. So we know Enoch is one of the chosen. And if he had a book, it's not out. Just to add, the book of Enoch today is not all right, a book that this man here, all right, who walked with the Most High, he didn't write that book. All right, that's deemed as the book of Enoch. Just to jump to verse 28, it says, because you got Methuselah, he begat Lamech, all right, and then Lamech, it said in verse 28, he lived 182 years and begat a son. Verse 29, and he called his name Noah, saying, the same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord, Yahweh Shem Hashai, have cursed. So that's the point there. Just to jump down, we know who Noah is, Lord willing. Verse 50, Genesis 5 and 32. Salakia, a little tired. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, so we know the story of the flood. All right, after the flood, these are the three sons, all right, who were left. So who was chosen? That's the next thing. Who was chosen between Shem, Ham, and Japheth? I'm gonna just jump to chapter 9, because you could go into the story of the flood, the Nephilim and the flood and all that. But just to stay on topic, all right, once this loads up, we'll see who's chosen between Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, just a spoiler alert, it's not Ham. All right, you can go into the story of what Ham did. All right, Ham, all right, he ended up being cursed, all right, for the little funny business. All right, Genesis 9, and see, I'm gonna jump to verse, I'm gonna just get to the point. Verse 25, 24, it says, and Noah awoke from his wine, and knew his youngest son had done unto him. All right, talking about Ham. And he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. I'm going to read to verse 27. And he said, blessed be the Lord, God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. All right, so we see right here, Shem is chosen between Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem is chosen. All right, so, Lord willing, I could recap. You have Adam. All right, you had Cain and Abel. All right, Cain slew Abel. All right, then you had Seth. Then from Seth, all right, you got Noah. You got certain lines from there. All right, because we got Enos. Did I get Eber yet? I don't think I got Eber yet. All right, but right here we have Shem. So I'm gonna just read verse 27. It says, God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. All right, so between Japheth, all right, and Shem, it looks like Canaan, he has the bottom end of that. Japheth, all right, he's not it says here in verse 26, blessed be the Lord God of Shem. So boom, we're going to jump to chapter 11. Lord willing, this is making sense, because we're talking about the chosen line. This is Genesis 11. I'm going to just jump to verse 10. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Alright, this is where Eber is going to start showing up. I'm going to jump down to verse 26. Or I could kind of read down, you know. You got Shem, Arphaxad, Salah. Alright, Eber. Alright, in verse 14. Alright, Eber. Okay. This is all chosen. I mean, come on, man. We're reading several chapters in Genesis, and it's like, this is very important here. Why would this be here? You know, why would this genealogy be here? You know, Christians want to go into the scriptures that says, you know, not to entertain genealogies. But you know, that's not what it's talking about. It's not downplaying the genealogy of the chosen line. But Salakia, I want to make this concise. Let me just jump to verse 26. All right, this ultimately, all right, it gets you to Abraham. It says, and Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. All right, so now we got Abraham. We know he's favored among the Lord, man. All right, I mean, these other two brothers, I mean, majority of folks, you know, I can't even say I'm too familiar with these guys, man. No, because Abraham was the chosen, not Nahor or Haran. You know, if I'm mistaken, Salakia, but you know, we know about Abraham. So from there, let's jump to chapter 12. I'm gonna just read 1 through 3 and then jump to 13. It says, Genesis 12 and 1. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will shew thee, and I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Alright, so now we see the line. This is where the line was chosen. From Abraham. That was a point on that. But we have another one here in chapter 13. Alright, Genesis 13, and I'm going to just give verse 14. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. It says, for all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. Alright, and notice it's singular here. It's not seeds. Alright, seed. No, chosen seed. Alright, verse 16, it says, and I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Beautiful, man. We're going to jump to chapter 16, and we're just going to get verse 15 on this one. Genesis 16 verse 15. It says, and Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. Alright, so this is talking about, you know, Abraham, alright, or Abram at the time, alright, his son Ishmael. So we're going to jump to chapter 17. This is Genesis 17 and verse 7. I'm going to start at 5. Oof. Let me start at the top. Genesis 17:1. When Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared unto Abram and said unto him, I am the almighty power, walk before me, and thou be perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and the powers talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Alright, it says, the point, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. So if you can receive it, these are different blessings, that was given to Abraham. All right, one of his seeds is going to have that covenant. All right, in verse 7, if you jump up, you got other blessings that's included within what was the covenant between Abraham, all right, and the powers. All right, but within this you got the chosen seed. Just to jump down to verse 16. This is Genesis 17 and 15. It says, and the power said unto Abraham, as for Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be, and I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yet I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. See that? I'm going to just jump down. Verse 19, it says, and the power said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and shall call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. So there you go. There's no debate on, all right, who's the chosen line. Was it Ishmael? No, this is Isaac. All right. Jake wants to harp up, on that firstborn logic when, starting from Cain and Abel, you can see that wasn't the case. So I'm gonna just jump to verse chapter 21. I think I'm gonna just give one chapter, Genesis 21 and 12. Salaki, if I'm a little tired, but the spirit, the water Yahweh Shai, give me a spirit to do this before I go to sleep. Genesis 21 and 12. And the power said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad. All right. Well, you know what? Yeah. The point is just right here. Salakia. Genesis 21:12. And the power said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. All right. So just to reiterate that, there's a chosen seed line, all right, from Isaac. This is in the scriptures, and this is in the book of Genesis, man. So Ishmael has nothing to do, all right, with the covenants. This is from the beginning. All right, Cain, all right, Ham. These other individuals who are in this storyline, they have nothing to do with the covenant. So just to continue, I'm gonna jump to chapter 22, and I'm gonna really read like majority of the chapter, if not all of it. This is Genesis 22 in verse 1. It says, and it came to pass after these things, that the powers did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him therefore a burnt offering upon of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. All right, we know this story, but we're going to read it. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went to the place of which the powers had told him. This is, no murmuring, no nothing. He rose up early in the morning, and he just, he went to work. It says, then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place far off. And Abraham said to his young men, abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and he went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father. And he said, here am I, my son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And this is a powerful thing. If you could receive it, Isaac, he wasn't even, You know what I'm saying? He asked the question, you know what I'm saying? And then he just, hey man, you know, he fouled man. Salakia. It says, and Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord, Yahweh, called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for burnt offering instead of his son. Salat. It says, and Abraham called the name of that place Yahweh Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord Yahweh it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, said the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son. That's a spit in the face to Ishmael. But it says that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. I'm going to read a couple more here. It says, this is the point. Verse 18, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Thy seed, one seed, man. And what's that seed is talking about? You know, Isaac, all right? And we know after Isaac who comes next. So we know the story of Jacob and Esau in Genesis 25. We're going to just get Genesis 28. I'm going to read majority of this chapter. This is Genesis 28:1. It says, and Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee a blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, where God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and went to Padan Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, and brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padan Aram. And Esau, seeing that daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then Esau went to Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath. Salakia. You gotta sound that slow sometimes. Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael's Abraham's son, sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, to lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up the earth, and top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. I really wanted to touch on that point, because it's just understanding that this is the first time where you're really seeing, you know, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac. Okay, that's how you know that the line stemmed right from Adam. You know, you got you got Seth. You know, you got Enos, you got Noah. You know, you got Shem. All right, Enoch. Now you have Abraham. You know, don't forget our facts ad, you know, Eber. But that's all part of the chosen line that gets to Abraham, Isaac. All right. Then it says, the land whereon thou liest, to give will I give it, into thy seed. All right. This word seed is very important, man. We know who that seed is. It says, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread above to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. You know, so this is beautiful, man. You know, it's really plain if you just read it, man. Genesis 28. I read this right, didn't I? Yeah, we're gonna jump to verse chapter 32. We just getting a few more verses. You know, I think the point was made. You know, Genesis 32 and 28. Let me just jump up a little bit just to get some context. Well, we know the story with Jacob. You know, he wrestled the angel. You know, then his name was changed. But this is just to make that point of being an Israelite. I'm just going to read it here. It says, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. All right, so this is talking about, all right, Jacob. All right, his name is changed to Israel. You add the ite, I-T-E, that means to be a descendant of. All right, so to be a descendant of Israel or Jacob, all right, that means that you're an Israelite. That's how you're an Israelite. There's no other way, according to scriptures, to be Israelite, but to be a descendant of Jacob, all right, whose name was changed to Israel. So I want to make that point. But that was really it, man. We're gonna get Genesis 29, well 49, Salakia. I gotta start talking slower. This is Genesis 49, all right, and 24. It says, just get to the point. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. The reason why I'm bringing that up, because it says the power of Jacob. All right, you don't see anywhere in the scriptures, all right, in the English where it says God of Esau, God of Ham, all right, God of Moab. All right, but here it says God of Jacob. That's he's chosen. Jacob is chosen, all right, between Jacob and Esau. All right, Abraham was chosen between his brothers. You know, Shem was chosen between his brothers. You know, Adam was chosen out of all mankind. So this is something that, you know, it's not like a new concept, man. From the foundation, this is how this was set up from the beginning. So that was it in Genesis. I'm going to just give one verse in Exodus and I'll close out. This is Exodus 3 and verse 6. It says, moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. See? So this is really, I believe it's one of the first times, if not the first, where you're seeing, you know, these words being used. The God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of... This is something that's been used plenty of times throughout the scriptures. And that's how you know this thing matters, man. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Baharukai Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the sincere Akim, enduring afflictions, making our calling and election sure. Shalom to the elect. Abba Ball.